Nice, nice. I think we'll be able to bounce through some of the rest of it pretty quickly here. So let's accelerate and pick up to it. So simple step number 5 of 6: demonstrate your commitment to career and life balance. Now, I think it's fair to say that the dynamics associated with resident physician recruitment had changed dramatically, particularly when it comes to balancing a career in medicine or having a life outside of medicine. It's no longer just about starting salaries and income potential. It's much more. And your candidates, residents, and physicians are hungry to know that each of you here and the employers you represent, that their future home, or either to launch their career or continue a career transition, will be committed to their career and life balance. But it takes so much more than just good talk or a good marketing sales pitch. Here's some ideas that we would recommend that you guys want to do if you want to be considered and build and maintain that reputation as the best places to work. Invest in ongoing development. Have a game plan in place to provide ongoing development, whether it's monthly or at a minimum quarterly. It can be done as part of a routine group meeting of physicians at a lunch and learn, or it can be a completely separate and designated event dedicated to a particular topic, content, or skill to share or develop. We also think that you ought to have and show a calendar of these events, topics, and dates. Like we said, there's nothing better and more cementing that says, hey, we actually have and are committed to a calendar, either on paper or some predetermined date, that we're going to be talking about this topic, that is all about balancing your career and life and managing your stress and your transition. Nothing speaks louder than action. And we know that physicians at all levels, particularly these new waves of residents, are eager to move on just dollars for their career, and they want to find a group that cares about their ongoing development. So one of the ways that we talk about this is to actually curate content for a resource library. We think it's one of the most powerful ways to do this. So a simple step, again, going through all this, is to actually build or curate your own library of resources that are available for residents and physicians to take some of that demand and stress that they will undoubtedly face in their careers as staff physicians. Todd, based on your experience in working with these residents, physicians, in-house recruiters, employers, and even these many physician recruiting associations, what are some of the topic categories and content resources that great resource libraries should include?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we touched on this earlier in the webinar. There is so many topics. It starts when even before they get out of residency and they make the transition, all the way through the interview process, the post-interview, the post-placement, goes into the onboarding process, and then once they're there, it goes into the really the wealth management, the practice management, all of those tools. So there's a lot of content that doctors are looking for. A couple recommendations that kind of stand out to me is one could be how to build a successful practice. What do they need to do? The ins and outs of being successful. So we talked a little bit about they get the guaranteed salary, and then they, most people go on to some type of productivity base. What do they need to do to build that practice and sustain it, and so they don't have a drop off? Another one is wealth management. I had a good buddy who, was making a lot of money, and right when he graduated, he went ahead and said, hey, with the retirement, I don't have to really worry about it. I'm going to concentrate focusing on paying my school loans. And then the following year he, had a child, and 2 years later he had another child. And so 20 years after, he's practicing, he never invested. And so what he could have invested, even if it was $1,000 a month, the compound interest and all those things could have made a huge difference. And so, his response was, why didn't somebody tell me? So, wealth management, saving for college for their children, you start from day one. If you don't, then it's very difficult to kind of break that, because now your overhead and where you live and your cars and all it's very difficult to undo. Another piece I think is really important is the life, money, and career priorities. And I think how do you balance? How do you, what are all the pieces to the puzzle, and how do they start sorting these pieces and putting it all together? So it's unlimited. It's an unlimited set of topics to choose from, and I believe it's essential that in-house recruiters and employers and anybody in HR, anybody who's associated with supporting the career and life of their physicians, devote ongoing attention and time to aggregating and curating the best content and resources possible.
I think that's the key is, I think we're talking about what a great way to demonstrate a commitment to a career and life balance. Interesting though is that even with all of this and what we talked about, we know how difficult and time consuming finding the stuff from the thought leaders that's actually relevant to this particular audience that will make a significant impact is hard enough if this is all you do. So one of the things that we talked about, and I think would be ideal, is moving over and saying, taking a look at that resource. I want to drag it back over here. If you guys recall from earlier in the webinar, we referenced the Physician and Career Library as a resource. And so let's come back here. Physician Career Planning. Not only is this a resource that you can go to grab individual content pieces, but imagine having this as a resource that is available to have and support that commitment to career and life balance. So if you take a look, we have all and numerous resources, tools that will help guide that through and take a look at what these things look like, from non-clinical careers to physician compensation to wealth management, lifestyle, and career priorities. Many of those topics that you talked about, Todd, are things that if somebody actually navigates through and wants to take a look at, is available. And go down here and hit search. And you'll see that there's numerous tools and exercises that are available to help define your value and life purpose statement, personal preference versus market conditions, assessing family needs. Many resources that are available to do that. So, with over 100+ topics and exercises and tools that help tackle many of these things that Todd outlined, we also want to talk about how we've helped integrate some of these with some of the partner sites that we have. So, when I'm pulling this up, taking that same resource library, let's take a look at a few of these. Todd, you want to make a quick comment on what University of Maryland Medical Systems has done here?
Yeah. This is they wanted to build an experience so doctors and physicians and candidates can access this resource through their main website. So this is a platform that we had built. They wanted something separate. They were using the physician career planning tools, but they wanted, hey, if there's candidates that go onto our website, what can we do to enrich their experience? So we built this for them. If you go and click on the top row, residency, workshops, and presentations, the third column, you click that.
Click on that, okay.
Yeah. So what this organization's done, so now they're putting in, how we talked a little bit about the residency presentation. So here's a community service that they offer to residency programs. And
wow, that's cool.
The resident or a program director or somebody else, whoever's interested in scheduling these, they can write what topic they're interested in, and they can fill out their information. And so here's, it not only solves, helping and provide career and life planning tools within this platform, but it also has nice call outs for the doctor or somebody to go out so they can set up residency presentations. So if you want to hit the back button real quick.
Sure.
And if you want to click on now, scroll down a little bit. So you have the physician opportunities on the bottom row. You don't have to click on that right now, but they wanted a spot where, hey, if somebody wanted to apply and search for opportunities, they wanted to be able to provide that opportunity. Here's a residency resource library. So if you want to click on that. So what we've done here is we built this resource, and you don't have to go through anything, Dan. We'll just kind of explain it, where all the resources that we just showed you on physician career planning, we have embedded them into this platform. So now the doctor doesn't have to go to physiciancareerplanning.com. They retain the visitor, and they provide, and there's ways they can send certain links and certain resources onto social media, and then it drives them to this particular platform. So I just wanted to share with you that this is one, and we don't have time to go through the entire thing, but let me show you another platform too. So this is with residency programs. We built this one for University or the College of Medicine at Rockford. And if you want to scroll down, residency was supposed to be the hard part. Contract negotiations, determining practice type, financial planning, let us help. So again, the users can go to a page that is at their residency program. And there's a video that introduces exactly how to use this whole platform. So there's just different ways that we have embedded and built pages for either residency programs or physician employers who want to enrich the experience of their residents and physicians.
Wow, that's cool. And I think that sort of wraps up that, the opportunity to integrate the resource library into your website. Like Todd was mentioning, not only will it make it available and easy to access 24/7, talk about, one of those earlier statements, reinforcing your employer brand and making a bold declaration to any and all those residents and physician candidates that you truly care about their ongoing development, balancing their career and life, managing stress, and much more.